Awful news that basketball legend Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash along with 8 others.
NBA star Kobe Bryant was on board that helicopter and is now dead at the age of 41.
According to TMZ, Kobe Bryant and at least 3 other people were in his private helicopter when the crash happened.
Five-time NBA champion, former league MVP, Kobe Bryant died.
Kobe Bryant, the legendary NBA star, is dead today.
Coming on the air with breaking news, very sad news to tell the sports world. The LA Times is reporting that retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash.
What's up, fishes? Welcome back to the channel. This is vlog number 15, and today is August 24th, 2020, which means it's Kobe Bryant Day. Hell yeah, National Kobe Bryant Day. As you guys know, we went ahead and lost a legend in late January 2020. And out here in LA, guys, boy, did that hit hard. Kobe Bryant was a staple of LA. And I wanted to go on and celebrate his life by going on and showing you guys 12 of my favorite Kobe murals out here in LA. Now, there's a whole bunch of murals. There's over 100. Some of them better than others. I don't like to criticize artists because I can't draw stick figures to save my life. But before we get into our murals, I want to go on and ask you guys to go on and leave a comment on the section below, letting me know what city, what state you're watching this video from. And if you do, that's automatically going to enter you in a raffle to win a really cool fish poker mask. Yes, sir. On my last video, I went ahead and showed you guys a little bit of what Las Vegas is like during this pandemic. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll go on and leave a link on the description below. That way you can go check it out if indeed you are planning on going to Las Vegas. Anyways, on that video, I went ahead and told you guys the exact same thing. Go on and leave me a positive comment. And if you did, you were going to go on and enter a raffle to win a fish poker mask. So if you were one of the few that did comment on my last video, stick around. I'm going to go on and do that raffle today. Good luck. Hopefully you win. And if you don't win anything, then fear not, my child. You can always go on and get a hold of me, and I'll go on and send you a fish poker mask. Hell yeah. And if you don't like my stupid design and you want your own stupid design, I'll go on and leave a link to Prime Printing. They're my #1 source for face masks, for shirts, for hats, for anything, you name it. Go on and get a hold of them, and make sure you tell them Fish Poker sent you. That way you get the homie discount. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut up now and let you guys enjoy these murals. And do me a favor, do me a solid, go on and click that thumbs up button, go on and click subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you are notified in my next video, and maybe you want a fish poker mask. Who knows? Good luck to all, and enjoy the video. For this first hand of the night, I look down at King 9 offsuit on the small blind. Our opponent under the gun has put a $1 straddle, which our opponents on the hijack and the cutoff both have called. I call on the small blind, our opponent defends his big blind, And once it gets back around to our straddler opponent, he goes on and he puts an additional $2 on top of his $1 straddle, bringing up the total to $3. Everybody calls except the hijack, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The flop is King 7-5. We go on and we hit top pair, and we decide not to lead out here. We're going to go on and let the original aggressor do the aggression. I check, the big blind checks, and sure enough, our original aggressor puts out a bet of $5. The big blind folds, but I go on and make the call, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is a 4. That brings in a flush draw, as well as 6-3 and 6-8 both get there. Now, given the way my opponent's been playing, I can't put him on that hand. I can't put him on that whole range. If he's playing 6-8, that means he's playing 5-7, 6-9, 9-10, 7-9. You know, that whole entire range. And given the way my opponent's been playing, I just can't put him on that range. If anything, I'm a little concerned about my kicker. But at this point, I'm not ready to fold. I go on and I check. My opponent bets out $10. And I go on and I call, and we go heads up to see a river. The river's a 5. A backdoor flush gets there, and it also pairs up the board. No, I'm not too concerned of either of those two. I'm mainly more concerned about my kicker. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. Am I going to go on and check and call whatever my opponent bets? Or if I shove here, will my opponent fold? I don't know what to do, but the more I think about it, the more I realize I don't have many options. If I do check and my opponent shoves, I'm going to have to call. I only have about $20 left behind, and there's $40 plus in the pot. Anyways, as I'm thinking and thinking and thinking, my opponent starts doing this. He starts getting his chips and counting them. I feel he's trying to intimidate me, and in my years of poker experience, I've learned that whenever somebody tries to intimidate you, they usually mean they're weak. This is a pretty solid, reliable tell for me. This is something that you guys should pay attention to. You guys should definitely keep an eye out for. And if you do this, don't do it anymore. Somebody awesome like myself might be able to catch on to that. In this situation, I took this as 100% weakness. And at this point, I'm thinking that I need a bet for value. I put in $10 into the pot, and that does it. My opponent just goes on and folds, and we take this one down. For this next hand, I'm on the button, and everybody on the table decides to limp in. I look down at pocket fives, and I go on and I put in a bet of $250. Now, I know I've said before that I don't like to bet small pocket pairs or mid pocket pairs, but in this situation, I'm the chip leader, I'm in position, and people need to start showing me some respect. Anyway, not a lot of people respect me because the big blind calls, the under the gun calls, the +1 and the cutoff call, and we go 5 ways to a flop. The flop is 10-6 jack. Our opponent under the gun goes on and leads out for $4, giving me a clear reminder why I don't like to raise small pocket pairs. There's a flush draw out there, there's a straight draw out there, and there's 3 overcards to my stupid pair. Anyways, I'm a fish, I'm the only one who calls, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is an ace. Not only is that a stupid overcard, but that brings in a straight as well as a flush. Our opponent leads out for $8, and in this game of Texas Hold'em, you gotta know when to fold 'em. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Anyways, nice hand, sir. You win. I know you have it. I go on and I fold. I muck my hand. And I ask him if he can please show, just because I want to know that I'm right. He goes on and he throws me his cards. I show them to the camera, and after realizing that he bluffed me, I go on and congratulate him in the only way I know how.
You fucking sick piece of crap.
Dude, like you could say he didn't.
No offense.
Anyway, well played, sir. Nice hand. You fooled me to the max, which isn't really hard to do. But man, even my gut instinct told me you had it, man. Good job. We ran the river just for shits and giggles, and of course he hits one of its 20 outs. I would have lost anyway. But yeah, the bad thing is I lost this hand. The good thing though is I was able to download my opponent for the next time he tries to play something fishy. I'm gonna get him. For this next hand, I'm on the small blind. And as I'm throwing my small blind in, something amazing happens. Bam! Right there. Come on, how freaking cool is that? Man, that is so awesome. And it's definitely a sign from the poker gods that they love me. Hell yeah. Anyways, there's a few limpers. It comes back around to me. I look down at 10-6. 10-6 offsuit on the small blind. Of course, that's not a good hand. But the poker gods just gave me a message. I have to play this. And not only do I have to play it, I have to raise it. That's exactly what I do. I raise it to $2. The big blind calls, the under the gun calls, the cutoff calls, the button calls, and we go 5 ways to a flop. The flop is 10-4 deuce, all of them of spades. Our opponent on the big blind checks out a turn, and I'm like, whoa, skipper. You skipped me. Action on me. I go on and I bet $250, which our only opponent who calls is our opponent on the cutoff, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is a 6. Not only is this a good card for me, but it's also a bad card for me. There's 4 to a flush out there. Now I'm starting to realize that maybe the poker gods don't really love me. I mean, it gives me 2 pairs, but there's 4 to a flush. Man, whatever. I check. My opponent checks. We go on to see a free river. The river's the best card in the deck for us. It's another 10. We go on and we hit a full house on the river when there's 4 to a flush on the board. Hell freaking yeah, man. How cool is that? Thank you, poker gods. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. Now, time to get some value off my hand. I go on and I bet $10 and our opponent folds. There's 4 spades out there and my opponent was not holding a spade. He was holding a 10 though. He folded trips on the river. He had ace 10. Good fold. I don't know if I would have been able to fold that. But then again, I'm a fish. But I'm a winning fish. Hell yeah. For this next hand, I'm on the button and I look down at 5-9 suited. The under the gun player limps in. The +1 makes it $3. The cutoff calls the $3. I call the $3. The small blind, big blind, and the under the gun player who limped in, they all call the $3 and we go 6 ways to a flop. The flop is the best flop in the world for a 7-6-8 with 2 diamonds. Not only do we flop a freaking straight, but we have a redraw to the absolute nuts. Hell yeah. It goes check, check, check. Our original aggressor bets out $2. The cutoff calls, and it comes back around to me. And no, sir, not in my town, not in my straight. I re-raise him to $15. Everybody folds except the +1 who's the original aggressor, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is a jack. My opponent goes on and checks, and even though I know I should bet for value here, I go on and I check back. I mean, I'm trying to set the trap. I've been caught before doing this stupid move where I go on and I raise a bet, and it goes check, check because I miss my draw. Now my opponent, he's a smart player. He catches on to things like this. The only problem with my trap is that the board goes on and pairs up. Another freaking 7 on the river. And not only that, this gentleman throws out a bet of $30. I know there's a lot of you fishes out there who would have snap called by now, but not this fish. I'm in the tank. I'm running over how this hand played out. I'm thinking about how this guy was the original aggressor, how this guy called my re-raise. He let out on the river, and well, man, there's nothing for me to do than just call. I can't re-raise them. I'm paranoid of paired boards, and even though I go on and I drop my phone and I'm not able to show you the complete footage of what he had, believe me, fishes, when I tell you that this guy did not miss leg day. He turns over freaking quads, pocket 7s. Now, my only question is, would I have been able to get him off a set of 7s if I would have bet the turn? No, right? Nobody folds a set of 7s. I mean, he probably checked to trap me. Anyways, in the long run, you probably shouldn't check the nuts. But in this particular situation, I think it saved me money. And, well, nice hand, sir. Nice freaking hand. For this next hand, I'm on the button, and our opponent under the gun has put in a $5 bet, which everybody on the table has folded to. It comes back around to me, and I make it $12 holding ace queen offsuit. Our opponent under the gun puts the remainder $7, and we go heads up to see a flop. The flop is absolutely no help to us. It's 4 jack deuce. Our opponent goes on and checks, And that just gives me the green light to go on and take a stab at it. I go on and put 15 bucks out there with Jack. Shh. Our opponent only has $23 left behind, and he knows that if he just calls, he's gonna only have $8 behind, and those $8 are gonna go in the pot on the next street. So, and he knows this, so he might as well just lets it rip. He goes all in for $23. And even though I don't have anything either, I mean, it's only $8. I can't be folding for the amount of money that's in the pot. And of course I go on and I call, and we go heads up to see a turn, which is a 9. And we go on to see a river, which is another jack. It pairs up the board, and to my surprise, my opponent turns over king, queen. What the devil? King, queen. I mean, he didn't have anything. He went all in with nothing. I mean, I know I put him all in with nothing. Well, I put 50, well, basically put him all in with nothing, but I was the original aggressor. I mean, I re-raced him and I continued the aggression after he checked. And I don't get it. I mean, I'm nobody to be criticizing anybody's play. I mean, I've done some stupid stuff before as well, but I don't get it. For this next hand of the night, I look down at pocket sixes in the hijack position. Everybody's limp to me, and I go on and make this pot a little juicier by throwing $2.50 into the pot. Our opponent in the cutoff calls, our opponent on the button calls, small blind calls, the big blind folds, the under the gun calls, the low jack calls, and we go 6 ways to the flop. And what a sweet, sweet baby Jesus type of flop this is. It's 6, 7, 6. We flop the absolute nuts. Hell freaking yeah. Everybody checks to me, and I go on and I splash the fucking pot. I put $2 out there, all of them in quarters. Our opponent in the cutoff calls, our opponent on the button calls, the small blind calls, under the gun guy folds, the low jack calls, and we go 5 ways to see a turn. The turn is an 8. Our opponent on the small blind gets a little froggy and he puts out a bet of $5. Our opponent on the low jack calls, and I'm over here hitting a boner with all these bets and all these calls and all these with the freaking nuts. Hell yeah, but I don't want to go on and scare anybody away yet. So I go on and I call the $5. Our opponent on the button calls the $5, and we go 4 ways to see a river. The river's a jack. Our opponent on the small blind, he leads out again for $10, but this time our opponent on the low jack folds, and this is where I gotta come in for a raise. I go on and I repop him to 35. Our opponent on the button, he decides to get out of the way, and it's 25 more bucks to our opponent on the small blind, which he actually pays me off. I show him the bad news, and he turns over 9-10 for a turn straight and an improved straight on the river. What a cooler for him. It sucks for him, but I mean, it doesn't suck for me. I go on and I take a really juicy, massive pot, and we're feeling freaking great. All right, fishes, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I went ahead and cashed out a little bit over 190 bucks. It was a good day. I mean, the poker gods were sometimes on my side, sometimes not, but hey, that's the way poker works, right? Don't forget to click that thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, that notification bell, so you don't miss a video. If you were one of the people that commented on my last video, stick around. I'm gonna go on and do that raffle. Hopefully you want a fish poker mask. Good luck, and I'll see you guys later. All right, fishers, these are all the people that commented on my last video, and I'm gonna go on and put 3 of these black aces into this deck. I'm gonna go on and shuffle them to the best of my ability. Then I'm gonna go on and put 1 card next to each one of these names, and if one of these black aces pops up on your name, then you won yourself a fish poker mask. Starting with the first one, Mr. Happy Face Hold'em. Congratulations, sir. You've won yourself a fish poker mask. Our next winner is Mr. Jeff Stimson. Hell yeah, congratulations to you, sir, as well. And our last winner, Mr. D. Aguila 0929. Congratulations to the winners. You guys go on and send me a message. I'll go on and figure out a way to mail you a fish poker mask. Congratulations. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.